These discoveries are making scientists scratch their heads, as this is perhaps the most terrifying discovery scientists have found in Africa. Below the visible terra firma, there are large components of the Earth's crust called tectonic plates. When we say large, we mean the continent-wide type of large. For those of you who don't know, the movement of these plates causes calamities like earthquakes and tsunamis. In Africa, we have the East African Tectonic Plate System, which stretches across several African nations. These include Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Malawi, and Zambia. So you can gauge the size, right? But here comes the scary part. Unfortunately, scientists have discovered that this system is currently breaking apart, slowly splitting Africa into two. Yes, you heard that right. A recent study confirmed that the plates are moving apart by millimeters each year, breaking into the Nubian plate and the smaller Somalian plate. If the studies are correct, this might just be the end of Earth as we know it. Imagine Africa splitting into two. Fortunately for us, though, such geological processes are as slow as a sloth, and these days are calculated in centuries. So we might be safe from the splitting of Earth, but future generations might not be as lucky. The studies further suggest that a new ocean will form between the plates, and a sea will cut across East Africa. Even worse, such a split would be accompanied by terrible changes in weather, natural disasters, and volcanic eruptions. Let's hope Elon Musk will take us to Mars before that time comes. The land of the dead. Did you know that even history calls Africa dangerous? Listen to the Sand People, who are the oldest indigenous tribe in the area. They know Africa as the land God made in anger. Even the Portuguese sailors called it the Gates of Hell. From a place with such terrifying names, what would you think of a place called Skeleton Coast? Well, there is one in Africa. With such names, it is safe to say the Skeleton Coast has some hidden secrets that would only terrify the scientists. Located on the northern part of the Atlantic coast of Namibia and south of Angola, the Skeleton Coast is infamous for being a geographical death wish. Dense fogs, called Casimbo by the Angolans, cover the coast for much of the year. Rainfall peaks at 10 millimeters each year, leaving an inhospitable climate all year round. Before engine-powered boats, it was impossible to launch a boat from the shore. Visitors to the coast could only leave through a marsh that was hundreds of kilometers long, and only after crossing a hot desert. This has stopped scientists from conducting studies in the area, but with advancements in technology, we can expect some great findings from the area. Now, let me take you to a beautiful phenomenon our ancestors probably missed. Or did they? The New World. In the 1960s, astronauts on the Gemini mission photographed a 40-kilometer region in the Sahara Desert that was initially thought to be a crater created by a falling object from space. It was later discovered to be a natural landmark. The Blue Eye of Sahara is an ancient formation dating back to the breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea. Millions of years ago, the land was lifted by volcanic activity from below as Pangaea broke apart. When the volcanic flow ended, the land collapsed and created the eye. However, the internet likes to think otherwise. You see, an area like the eye is simply impossible to exist within a desert. And if you were to believe the conspiracy theories, this is actually the lost city of Atlantis. And it all makes sense when you think about it. When you compare the area with Plato's description, you would be able to find multiple parallels. And honestly, this makes a lot of sense. Africa has some interesting natural attractions, and the next one is proof. The alien land? Klerksdorp spheres are tiny, cricket ball-like objects with lines around their middle. They can be disc-shaped or round and are mined from pyrophyllite deposits near Ottosdal, South Africa. These 3-billion-year-old things are often linked to aliens. Given their appearance, it is easy to see why these spheres are believed to have been made by intelligent beings. Klerksdorp spheres began as mineral deposits in pyrophyllite 3 billion years ago. Over millennia, the minerals crystallized to form spheres. Their spherical form is due to the even texture of pyrophyllite, which allows the mineral deposit to grow in all directions. The seam-like lines are imprints left by the host rock. Proponents of the alien origins of the spheres have claimed that they are perfectly round and contain a nickel-steel alloy that does not occur naturally. However, these claims have been dismissed by scientists as false information. It is now known that there are Clarksdorp spheres with a flattened or disc shape. Some are also interlocked like soap bubbles. The nickel-steel alloy claim originates from the misinformation that the stones are mined from Wonderstone silver mines. The curator of Klerksdorp Museum, where the rocks get their name, Rolf Marx, was misquoted by a journalist who wrote that the spheres could vibrate on their own accord. Marx, however, insisted that it was not true, and the vibration in the display case observed by the journalist was because of gold mining in the city. So perhaps not everything has to be supernatural. And up next is yet another stunning natural phenomenon that you might consider visiting after watching this. Fairy circles are barren patches of land ranging between 7 and 50 feet in diameter, surrounded by a ring of vegetation that is usually taller than the surrounding grassland. The fairy circles in the Namib Desert have spurred several theories, including termites, grass-killing gas, UFOs, and even a local myth about a dragon that lives underground, whose fiery breath kills the grass and forms circles. For decades, scientists have puzzled over the cause of these fairy circles. Finally, a breakthrough was made by researchers from the University of Pretoria, South Africa, and Itimo University in St. Petersburg, Russia. They found that the milk bush plant releases a poisonous sap that inhibits plant growth, resulting in fairy circles. Scientifically known as euphorbia, the plant releases water-repelling sap when it dies, preventing other plants from growing and creating barren circles. However, the locals and many netizens believe that this is just a cover-up theory, and the reality may just be something else. The baobab tree is best described as the grocery store of trees, and you are about to find out why. Baobab trees can be up to 82 feet tall, and their trunks can reach 46 feet in diameter. Because their tangled branches look like roots, they are funnily called upside-down trees. The baobab tree has over 300 uses and is a valuable source of income for African communities. The leaves can be boiled and eaten, the seeds can be roasted, and cooking oil extracted from them or used to make cosmetics. The root is used to make dye, the flowers are used to make ropes, and the tree also has medicinal properties. This is mentioned as the tree of life. But the thing that terrifies scientists is the fact that this tree should not exist in Africa. There is no fossil record of this tree in the area, and it should simply not exist here. And yet, it is also found in Australia. So how does a tree with no records somehow manage to cross oceans? This one might just be beyond our understanding. The demon. Next, let's focus on the genius African people themselves. While most find the idea of a floating village absurd or the product of a flood, they are quite common in Africa and are found in several parts of West Africa. In swampy or marine areas, people build their houses on stilts above the water and conduct business through boats. As more such homes are built, a floating village emerges. The largest floating village is called Ganvi and is found in southern Benin. Located in the middle of Lake Nokoué, it is home to 45,000 people and was built 500 years ago. The origin story told by locals is that the founders of the village fled to the lake to escape the powerful Dahomey kingdom, which was capturing weaker tribes and selling them as slaves. In exchange for the slaves, they got weapons from Europeans, making them nearly impossible to defeat. However, the Dahomey kingdom had one weakness. They thought a demon lived in the lake and would not go near it. The Ganvier people exploited this weakness and built their village over the lake. And since the custom is still followed. So, these were some terrifying discoveries in Africa that changes everything. What are your thoughts? Do share them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon in the next one.